Dan, let's show them how we built this.
Let's do it.
Stay tuned and watch the video. We're put on this Illumination seminar. We have Dan Pettit from Northern Outdoor Living.
What's up?
I am Kevin Choquette from Raven Builders. Dan has an artwork that he wants to share with the industry today, and it's going to be in the form of an illuminated privacy wall. We're going to do a feature wall out here. We've started it, we've corrected it, we've kind of, the decking and the trim isn't what we're out here to show off, right? Really, we're out here to show off kind of his magic behind the way that he creates these scenes, and it is a scene. So I'm gonna let him kind of give you guys a quick background on how he got here. I'm gonna start setting up, and then he is gonna teach me how to build one of these privacy spools. We're gonna fire this thing off, drop the curtains, and take a look.
So first of all, thanks to Eva-Last, thanks to Kevin, Raven Builders, for having me be able to come up and host in this whole event. So these guys didn't have to do that, and they're doing it, and it's really amazing. I'm not claiming to be an expert on any one thing. I'm not trying to say that I'm the best at anything out there. All I know is that I really like dabbling with illumination and sounds, and people have been asking me over the years how some of that comes together, and I just want to be able to show people what's going on, a little bit that I know. So that's what we're going to do today. So I don't know, some of you guys have seen some stuff I've done, some of you haven't. I've really gotten to messing with the fiber optic lights themselves, and then I use Inlite in a big way to kind of complement, I don't know what you're going to call it, just the pieces, the scapes that I'm putting together. The Inlite's a great, hardy outdoor system that I can trust, right? So I'm using that. The fiber optics are, nothing's made for outside. So when we create a structure, we got to flash that all in like it's a home, and we got to make that watertight so that the light engine itself, which I'll show you, the light engine stays nice and dry, doesn't get moisture, doesn't freeze. Yeah, well, what I want to tell him is I just want to take the whole process, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it takes, to get from just a regular cladded wall that we're gonna assume that everyone here can start at this point, right? Framing a wall, cladding it. And we're gonna make it interesting, have some fun. So we're gonna go through the whole process, every little step. We're gonna have to swing it this way always, yeah. Oh, we're unplugged, great, okay. So there's nothing really special here. One of the only things that I do particular during the framing is that I make sure my studs are recessed from my top and bottom plates. And so you can see I started some of these fibers. I left this open. Kev's gonna do almost every step along the way. He's never done it before. We've never really talked about it. So once we get all these fibers in, we still need to clad the back. So what I do is I take my 2x4 wall plates, or my 2x4 studs, and now I can put them in here, and I'm always going in between, weaving all the fibers that I put it through. So otherwise, either we're drilling a hole for every one of them, or we're snapping them, or we're doing crazy stuff. So that's one of the only particular things for the framing that we do, is we just do our offset studs.
All right, so let's just talk about the components here. So we have a privacy wall built. You're going to do offset framing so you can kind of track through without having to drill everything.
That's right.
And then so you have a driver for your fiber optic.
So that's our light engine, is what they're calling that.
You have a light engine. And then this is one component that you buy that has a certain amount of fiber optic strands.
Yeah,
How many strands is this?
I think this is a 500. This is a really small one. Any of the projects that I've been posting are usually a 2,000 strand engine, and the collar is going to be a lot bigger. But all this does is has a light in there that shines out, and these are just tunnels or conduit, right? That's all it is. I'll never have to service these. I'll only need access to my engine if that fails for any reason. You unscrew this collar, it pops out. You put one that works, put it back in.
So how about I start drilling some holes? Well, you want to kind of walk it through as I'm going?
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to do it sideways so they can see you drilling, me thread. Sure. Okay.
All right, so I'm getting to work here on the clock, so I'm going to start drilling. I got to be doing something. I'm just standing around. Chaz.
That out of there, okay. So kind of 50-50 for everyone.
All right, here we go. So I'm pretty much just going to drill holes wherever. You're going to see the pilot bit come through, and then you're just going to stick a strand through out of that pilot bit. Is that correct?
That's what's going to happen, because we don't want to see the fibers through our cracks if we're doing any kind of spacing. Of course, we're always plying that.
Yes, sir.
Blacking it out with flashy, black paint. But we want to create something solid so we're not seeing any light we don't want to see. We're only seeing the light we want to see. Kev, it's up to your discretion. You can.
What size is this drill bit?
It's a 16th inch. And it's just long enough to get through the.
All right, and you can put up to 2 strands through that hole?
Depends how big the strands are. These are 0.75 millimeter. Some of them are 1.25. And that's the millimeter, and that's going to be like perfect for
all right, so
an 1/8 inch core.
I'm pretty much just going to send a hole.
You got to do that, right? So we got a guy in the front drilling. We got a guy in the back, or gal.
Or gal. Should we get the audience up here to poke some strands?
I think we could get people doing both.
Anybody want to poke a strand?
Sure, let's do one. Right. Do that again, because I didn't see the hole.
He lost the mile hole.
Does me too. Yeah, you're gonna see this
tiny coming through the back of that plywood. I can see it in the front, but you really got to be like watching the drill bit come through and keep that mark.
Okay,
put it straight through. So we're just gonna
pull it all the way through.
Just take some slack, and then we're pretty much just hanging those where they are. You'll see in the second part when he comes through, he's gonna blow them off in the back and then cut them flush, and it's gonna come out with this appearance where you can't see them when they're off.
Well, we got 2/3 of it done. You can't see it, right?
Yeah, ready?
Yeah, keep her going. Okay, normally I'd be going back at the end of the day. I come back with a Gorilla Type glue, and I'd hit every one of these where they poked out, because right now they're just going to go in and out, in and out. Well, we got to eventually cut these flush, so we just see. Well, we don't see them is the whole point. We just have a cut off flush conduit. So I would do that the night after when we're leaving, and we come back in the morning and I cut it, but we don't have that kind of time here. So I did find some 30-second gel glue. Kevin, let's hit all the ones you did. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut this eventually, so we need it. Yeah, let's do that.
That real saw.
All right. So we'd normally clean all this up, but right now we just want to show the process.
So the other components that we have in here is we have a Smart Hub 150 from Inlite. We're using their Flex Tone, so it's a flexible strip light that we can do color changing. Dan has designed and manufactured a sort of blender component, which is pretty much it's like kind of like a little quarter round wheel that has 3 spaces in it that we can insert the plastic profile strip for these Inlite Smart Flex. because what we're trying to do is create a blend of color. So this is the component that he's manufactured. This is custom patent pending. So what we're going to use this for is we have this profile strip as seen on the front of that bar that's holding that flex tone in place, and we're going to apply 3 of those and play with the color to try to create kind of a blend of a few different colors. Sunset, right?
That's it.
So I have a piece of profile, but you'll see it when we spin it back around. That's what you're looking at. It's 3 pieces of profile with 3 pieces of spark flex rounded up out of here. These go to our drivers, and those drivers go to our smart hub. That will just control from the Inlite app, and we can go in there with the feature, the color feature, to kind of change those colors around, really to any color. It goes from pretty much white to really dark purple, and everything in between.
Okay, I think I got them all.
We're good?
Yeah, can we pause now and just talk a little bit about what we're doing per client? So I never come to a client and say, hey, I got an idea. I'm gonna do something I really want to do. We treated me and Kev came up with the design. We treated Eva-Last just like I would treat any client, where they have a seed of a vision they want to be hanging out with. Because whatever we're doing, we're trying to make it kind of classic and going to be last in 20 years, and they're not going to be tired of looking at it. So that process can take a while, but we want to get something that means something to that client. So in the past, I've done spots. I'm from Minnesota, so we got a lot of Minnesota spots that we recreate for people that they just have an affinity for whatever reasons they do, but they love it, right? So me and Kev came up with the design because of what? Where are we from? It's an homage to their heritage, right?
Yeah, so the company's roots are based in South Africa. So we kind of looked at African scenes to try to come up with something, right? And we got some animals, we got some, we're gonna unveil, right?
Yeah, so I think we should switch.
Okay.
I think we'll cut, right?
Yeah.
And then we can even give a twinkle teaser just to see what we did.
So we're trying to create a scene that's meaningful.
Yeah.
And Dan really works with his clients to find something that like means something to them. A lot of them are, I believe, like all his jobs are Minnesota landmarks. Thought I did. I mean, one way or another. So, seeing as this company is based out of South Africa, we decided to use the South African scenery. Okay.
So I just want to make sure that all these aren't going to slide in and out, because once we cut and once we clap the back, we're never going back in there. So, good time to say we would never, as we're pressure washing the deck, we'd never pressure wash this. It's not happened to me, but I would be too afraid all this work would get shipped back and then it's no good. So yeah, take one up here. So all I'm doing is I nick it, little pressure, and then bend it, and then comes right off. Nick, bend, nick, bend, nick.
Yeah, we're happy.
And then try not to scratch it. Damn. So here's just a little teaser what's going on. All right. So it's just a random thing. You can see, if you look at the night sky and any given night, you're going to see big wide open spaces. You're going to see clusters, depending on how cloudy it is and all that. It's in the red tote. So sometimes we'll shift 2 of these in one hole because they're all going back to the light engine very randomly, and they're maybe turning colors at a different rate. So you get a really, we're trying to make that twinkle effect is emulating as much as we can something that is a twinkling animated kind of scene. So Kevin's speeding the sun through. Okay. And that literally, there you go. So the other thing with this, I just want to finish up any of these kind of features. We got a whole color wheel for the fiber optic stuff, right? It's on twinkle mode speed 4. We can go down to 1, it slows down. I like 4 just to make sure we're feeling the motion. They have modes. So this is 7 color fade. It's a nice one if you just want to feel like it's constantly turning something different. You got 7 color breathe. This is just really indicative of all the LED stuff you can get on the market. And it goes through fades, breathes, jumps, right? Just jumping, a little too abrupt for me. Flashing. Keep her going? All right, so I'm a big fan of this one. So the next thing, another dimension to the whole piece, we're making a setting sun or setting moon, either one you want to call it. So this is hooked up to the Inlite app. So we've also hooked on a dimmer, a touch dimmer. So if I turn that sun on, hold up. If I turn the sun on, and it's too, you got your bright. That might be a little too bright for a glass of wine at the end of the night with a fire. I'm usually liking that first one, but you got 4 different clicks, right? So I'm going to go with number 2. Piece is next, right?
Yeah, you got stand.
I got standoff. The bottom's going to go right into the 2x4, Kev.
All right, so here's the South African skyline.
Oh, we don't even need to do that, dude. Okay. So the things I had to come up with is if I ever did a standoff. So how are we going to keep that nice and consistent? I'll put a couple in for the effect. What I have here is some black nylon washers. Hopefully they're just going to disappear in the back. Different lengths. And then we have screws that are going to go. We thread them on. So these are a hinge. Let's do 3 of those, and let's do one in the back of the tree. Now do we want to drop? Do we want to drop, get the effect going for the lights, or what's next? I think that, and then we do the experimental part that I've never done yet. We're gonna drop this down so we have a nice dark covey to enjoy the lights in. All right. Just help with the effect. Maybe leave this open for these guys. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Take it back some. Just get it out of the. Yeah, I know, right? All right. So this is where I take it a lot of times, and we wanted to do something special. We wanted to really create a horizon line. So me and Kev were kind of coming up with that idea. I ran 3 EVO light strips at different angles, trying to create different layers of the horizon. And we used the Inlite control panel. Let's see. We're just going to create a couple, save them on a scene. Sorry, here we go. Oh, hold on now. Take her down. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with a deep red base, right?
Hey, he's painting it.
Okay. Now I'm paid. And what I learned is I'm no scientist, but these light waves start canceling out. You think you'd add together, but what you're doing is you're creating some stuff that you wouldn't normally think of. So that's my first Evo. That's probably at a 15 degree, going kind of straight back, setting that base. The next one is the middle. That's a 38 degree. This is what I came up with. Let's turn it on. Okay. Now let's give that like an orange, right? Fit
Up here, Floyd.
Now I got one that's doing an 85 degree that's going to kind of get this back. If it's totally dark out, you're really going to see that blend it real sweet up the deck board. We'll see what happens here. The top one, I'm gonna go like a yellow. Right? What do we got?
Morning.
That's interesting, right? So, thanks to Inlite. Where's Nick? Told him to stand by. Where is he? Help me just punch a scene in. I want to save that. I want to come back to it. What am I doing? Hit scene? Don't tell me, you just do it. Tell me. I want to save that.
So what he's talking about is you can actually create a scene. So he can change these colors up and kind of develop a pattern of color. He can save that as a scene, and then he can recreate like a different blend and save that as a different scene. So as he kind of plays around with it and then finds one that he likes and moves on to another, he can go back to that other one once he has a winner. And it really makes a lot of sense when we're trying to do something like this, playing around with
Scene one, boom. There it is. Okay, let's pretend that's a moon now. I like doing the sun moon thing. I'm gonna turn the top and mid off. Let's start with a deep blue, right? Let's start with a deep blue. The mid one, we're gonna get to like blue to like purple-y kind of fade here. I gotta turn it on. Then I get my color wheel.
not that.
I turn it on. Sorry, you guys.
It's okay, Dan. We're here.
Okay, good. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. So the bottom again. Start with the blue. The mid. I need to get my color wheel in here. Here we go. I'm gonna give it a purpley. Now let's do the top. Let's go. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta mess with it. Turn it on. And I can't really see. If we're hitting different wavelengths, I feel like I'd go to bottom again and get a deeper. Right? Now we save that. So now, I believe, that's the first one we did. There's the second one we did. We can do it on and on and on, right?
So we are going to, we're going to clad the back of this thing because it's going to live in the booth for the rest. So we just have some pieces of cladding. Typically what Dan would do is he actually create access panels for the back that are flashed in and watertight to keep the engine, to keep everything dry. But for now, for the sake of, efficiency, we're going to clad the back. But if anybody wants to come up, we're just going to open up the booth quick. If you guys want to come in and take a closer look, see what's happening here, if you want to have any questions or anything like that. And other than that, we'll probably close this thing up. You guys can grab a beverage and just, we enjoy you guys all coming out here, and thank you. Yeah.